Good day, guys. So for this video tutorial, we will discuss completing the accounting cycle for a service provider. Actually, ano siya, Chapter 7 and Chapter 8 since we will also be covering yung financial statements as well as yung closing entries, post-closing trial balance, and reversing entries. So, hey guys, I am Chon Wano and I'll be your companion as we dive through this lesson. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, kung matatandaan nyo, during the preliminary period, we have discussed the first few steps in the accounting cycle, yung gathering documents, yung journalizing, yung pag-ledger, and yung unadjusted trial balance. So, after nun, after natin makakuha yung trial balance, yun yung unadjusted trial balance kasi. So, pagdating ng end of accounting period, mag-adjust tayo ng entries and then we'll come up with the adjusted trial balance and then after nun, after ng adjusted trial balance, dun tayo makakapag-financial statements and then yung closing entries, post-closing trial balance, and then last is reversing entries para makapag-start ulit within the new accounting period. So, yun. Adjusting entries, they bring certain account balances up to date at the end of the accounting period. They are required when changes in certain accounts have not been recorded in the accounting records. So, necessary siya sa mga items na either deferred or accrued. We'll get to that later. Ayan. Reasons for adjustments. It can be inefficient and costly to account for certain types of transactions on a daily basis. So, as an example, for example, yung isang employee, nag-remove siya ng pen from a supplies closet. So, supplies expense yun, di ba? Ang entry mo dun is debit supplies expense and then credit supplies for yung cost ng pen. So, example, $1.25. Yun yung estimated cost ng pen. Kada kuha mo ng pen, i-record mo yun. Pero kung pa isa-isa ka kumuha, tapos kailangan mo siyang i-record isa-isa, it would be very costly and inefficient to try to keep up with each little transaction like this. Especially kung madalas kang kumukuha ng supplies. So instead, naghihintay tayo until the end of the accounting period. Tapos doon natin ma-determine yung total amount ng mga supplies na nagamit. Then, we make one adjusting entry to account for all the supplies used during the period. So instead na yung kada kuha mo ng supplies, i-record mo siya, iipunin mo na lang siya. And then sa end of accounting period, doon mo lang i-adjust yung entry para maging accurate yung results, maging accurate yung amount, yung account. So adjusting entries are necessary when accrual basis accounting is used, and adjusting entries allow businesses to adhere to the matching principle. So sa accrual basis accounting, nalalaman niyo siya from Chapter 4. Revenues are recognized when earned and expenses are recognized when incurred. Ano siya, indifferent siya sa iba siya dun sa cash. Kasi sa cash basis, sa cash method, kapag nakuha mo na yung income mo, dun mo lang ma-record siya. Even if yung income na earn na siya a long time ago. Or like yung expense, pag nabayaran mo, dun mo lang siya i-record. Even if yung expense na yun, na-incur mo na. Like before, like previous month, ganun. So, under accrual basis accounting, revenues are recognized when earned, regardless of whether cash has been received, and then expenses are recognized when they are incurred, regardless of whether you have paid it or not. So, kahit hindi mo pa nabayaran yung expense, i-record mo na siya under accrual basis. Same din sa revenues kapag na-earn mo na, kahit hindi mo pa nakukuha yung income, i-record mo na siya under accrual basis. And it also adheres to the matching principle. Kasi sa matching principle, di ba, from chapter, I think it's chapter 3 or 4, yun sa accounting principles, it states that expenses should be matched together with the income they produced in the same time period. Yung mga expenses mo sa isang period, dapat nagmamatch siya sa income na na-produce in that same time period. So, characteristics of adjustments. So, adjusting entries are internal transactions. So, no new source document exists for the adjustment. And here, adjusting entries are non-cash transactions. So, hindi mo magagamit yung cash account sa adjusting entry. So, ano siya, hindi siya pwedeng i-adjust. I mean, hindi mo pwedeng i-adjust yung cash account. Hindi siya magagamit sa adjusting entry. And it will always involve at least one income statement account and one balance sheet account. One income statement account, yun yung mga nominal accounts, yung income and expenses. And then yung balance sheet account, yung mga real accounts, yung asset, liabilities, and equity. And then adjusting entries are needed for revenues and expenses covering two accounting periods. So, ito yung 6 types of accounts to be updated or adjusted. Namely yung accrued income, accrued expenses, unearned income, prepaid expenses, bad debts, and depreciation expense. So, ang accrued income is yung income na earn mo na pero hindi mo pa na receive yung cash. And then sa accrued expenses naman, sa accrued expenses, yun yung expenses na na-incur mo na pero hindi mo pa nababayaran. And then sa prepaid expenses, advance payment recorded as an asset naman siya. Like yung supplies, yung prepaid rent, prepaid insurance, prepaid advertising, yun. Then unearned income, income na na-receive mo na pero hindi mo pa na-earn. Kumbaga, hindi mo pa na-perform yung specific service na yun. And then, bad debts expense naman or uncollectible accounts or doubtful accounts, basically, client accounts that are that may not be collected anymore. Doubtful of collection siya, kaya doubtful or uncollectible account siya. And then finally, depreciation expense, declining unity value of asset cost that should be expense. Ayan. So, ito yung pasilip sa mga adjusting entries. So, we'll have a deeper dive into this later pag nagsagot na tayo ng mga practice problem and yung worksheet. So, pag accrued expense, so parang format lang to. So, pag accrued expense, ang pro forma mo niyan, magde-debit ka ng expense and then magka-credit ka ng payable. Since sa accrued expense, expenses incurred but not yet paid. So, payable siya. Liability siya nun. Then sa accrued income, debit mo would be the receivable and then credit mo would be the income kasi accrued income, income you earned but have not yet received. So receivable siya. Then sa prepaid expense method, sa prepaid expense naman, meron tayong dalawang method. So asset method and yung expense method. Sorry. Sa asset method, ang adjusting entry mo niyan, ang debit mo is yung expense and then credit mo is yung asset. So, papakita natin later yung original entry niyan and then bakit siya adjust ng ganyan and anong pinagkaiba ng asset method sa expense method. So, sa expense method naman, ang debit mo would be the asset and then credit mo would be the expense. So, for example, if ang prepaid expense mo is supplies, sa asset method, ang debit mo niyan would be supplies expense and then credit mo would be supplies. Kasi ang i-record mo sa asset method is the use portion. Sa expense method naman, i-debit mo yung supplies and then kine-credit mo yung supplies expense since you're recording the unused portion here. Okay, here naman sa unearned income, meron din tayong dalawang methods dyan, liability method and income method. Sa liability method, i-debit mo yung liability and then kine-credit mo yung income. So, for example, sa unearned income, dinedebit mo niyan yung unearned income and then credit mo yung mismong income, yung like revenue. And then sa income method naman, baligtad. Debit mo is yung income, credit mo is yung liability. Kasi sa liability method, yung earned portion yung nire-record mo. And then sa income method, yung unearned portion yung ina-adjust mo. Next, sa bad debts, doubtful accounts, meron tayong dalawang methods dyan. Allowance method and direct write-off. So basically, yung pinagkaiba niyan is kung sa ano yung kinekredit niya. So sa allowance method, debit mo is bad debts expense or doubtful accounts expense. Ang credit mo is allowance for bad debts. Kasi allowance method, you are, nag-a-allow ka ng for bad debts. Yun. Kasi allowance for bad debts is also a contra asset. So, di-deduct siya sa accounts receivable. And then sa direct write-off naman, yung accounts receivable, yung credit mo. Same debit, pero credit mo is accounts receivable kasi instead na magbigay ka ng allowance for bad debts, instead na magbigay ka ng allowance, ni-write off mo na agad siya directly. So, diretso bawas na siya sa accounts receivable mo. And then for depreciation expense yung debit, and then accumulated depreciation yung credit. So, ayan. How to analyze an adjusting entry? When analyzing an adjusting entry, look for the item that has not been recorded but should have been. This information is often not explicit and must be inferred from the data given. So, kailangan maging observant tayo dun sa situation or like sa mga information na natatanggap natin. For expenses, example, look for the amount used. For revenue, look for the amount earned. And so as an example, you are given this following data. So mayroon kang prepaid 15,000 for 12 months of insurance on September 1 of the current year. Make the appropriate adjustment as of the end of the period. So here meron kang prepaid expense na 15,000 for 12 months of insurance on September 1 of the current year. So on September 1, ayan yung original entry niya. Prepaid insurance or prepaid expense yan, 15,000 and then cash, 15,000. So, if mapapansin nyo, ito yung, ang method na ginamit dito sa prepaid expense is asset account. Since you're dealing with prepaid expense yan. It is an asset account. It is an amount owned by the company that has economic value. So, each month, a portion of that prepaid insurance expires. So, parang rent din, parang advertising, even supplies. At the end of the fiscal period, yung prepaid insurance and insurance expense accounts must be updated for the insurance that has been expired or that has been used. So, notice sa situation na to, kinuha natin yung i-adjust natin yung prepaid expense to get the use portion. Yung amount niya yung use portion. So, asset method siya. So, ang magiging entry niyan, if ever, is insurance expense, debit, and then prepaid insurance credit. Depende sa kung magkano yung used portion ng insurance. So let's divide the analysis of this transaction into two parts. So ano yung accounts na involved and ano yung amount ng adjustment. So what accounts are involved? So pag nakita ka ng word or pag naka-imply ka ng word na something has been used up, parang pag na-realize mo siya, it indicates an expense account. So in this case, we need to debit insurance expense for the expired insurance kasi na-incur mo na yung insurance eh. And then the asset, prepaid insurance, pababa siya, mag-decrease siya. So we will credit this asset. And then for the amount of the adjustment, ito yung calculation niya. So 15,000 for 12 months is equal to 1,250 pesos per month. Yan, 15,000 divided by 12. And then, policy purchase on September 1, months that have expired between purchase and fiscal year end is 4, from September to December. And then, amount of adjustment is 5,000 since 4 months times 1,250 per month. Since you have bought the insurance on September 1. So, 4 months. Yun, 4 whole months yun. Buong bare months, diba? So, these are always recorded on the last day of the period. Kung ang last day ng accounting period mo is December 31, mag-adjust ka ng entry sa December 31 din. Hindi pwedeng December 30, hindi pwedeng January 1, December 31. Kasi yun yung mismong end na accounting period mo. So if the period closes on December 31, the adjustment will be journalized as follows. So date December 31, account mo, debit mo is insurance expense, credit mo is prepaid insurance. Then debit 5,000, credit 5,000. So pag nag-ledger ka niyan, ito yung lalabas December 31, AJE. So and for example, ito yung original entry kasi prepaid insurance. So 15,000 debit, balance of 15,000. And then, ngayon, nag-adjust ka kasi para dun sa use portion. So, adjusting journal entry, AGE yung particular mo. Credit mo ngayon is yung 5,000 na galing sa journal. And then, subtract mo dun sa balance para makuha mo yung 10,000. And then for insurance expense, December 31, nag-debit na ng 5,000 kasi nagamit mo na nagamit mo na, so nag-incur ka na nun. And then 5,000 yung balance niya. Okay, let's try another example. Binigyan ka ng ganitong data. You have received 12,000 advance cash on November 1 for a painting job you are to complete over the next 3 months. So, ano, kapag i-observe nyo or kapag basahin nyo maigi yung problem, mapapansin nyo na unearned revenue siya. Kasi, binigay agad yung revenue o yung income sa'yo, pero you haven't earned it kasi you haven't performed the service yet. You are to complete the service over the next 3 months. So, sa original entry niyan, which is November 1, cash would be debited and a liability account called unearned painting revenue would be credited. So, cash yung debit since nakatanggap ka ng cash, inflow of cash yun. And then, credit mo is the unearned revenue because you owe the customer painting services. Hindi mo pa kasi na-earned yung revenue na yun even if natanggap mo na siya. Kasi hindi mo pa na-perform yung service eh. So, each month as you perform these services, you're earning a portion of the unearned revenue. And then, by the end of the fiscal period, the unearned painting revenue and the painting revenue accounts must be updated for the revenue that has now been earned. So, kada buwan habang nagpe-perform ka ng services, na-earn mo na yung unearned revenue. So, kailangan mong i-adjust yun, ilipat mo yung unearned sa earned sa painting revenue para ma-record yung revenue na na-earn mo na. So, completing the adjustment, we have performed step 1. Yung mga accounts involved is yung unearned painting revenue as the debit since we're decreasing liability here, and then painting revenue, a revenue credit. Normal balance ng revenue is credit. So, ganyan yung magiging itsura niyan. Note that as we perform the services owed, the liability decreases and the revenue earned increases. Kapag nag-increase yung revenue, sa credit siya. Kapag nag-decrease yung liability, sa debit siya since both liability and income, credit yung normal balance niya. So, amount na tayo. Sa situation, di ba, 3 months for 12,000. So, 12,000 for 3 months, 12,000 over 3, 4,000 per month. And then, na-receive mo yung cash advance on November 1. So, magbibilang ka ng buwan no? November, December. So, sa January siya matatapos. Pero ang i-account mo lang is yung 2 months since ang end ng accounting period mo is December 31. So, 2 months of work have been completed by the fiscal year end. And the amount of adjustment is 8,000 since 4,000 per month times 2 months. So, 8,000 siya. So, complete na natin. Unearned painting revenue, debit 8,000. Painting revenue, credit 8,000. So, after ng adjusting entries, punta na sa adjusted trial balance and then financial statements. Then, dire-diretso na yun. Closing entries, post-closing trial balance, reversing entries. So, ngayon, punta tayo sa problems. Ayan. Okay. So, ito yung mga example. So, i-discuss natin to one by one. So, accrued expense. Accrued expense, ito yung, di ba? Expenses already incurred but have not yet been paid. So, na-incur mo na yung expense pero hindi mo pa siya nababayaran. So, na-bill na siya sa'yo, hindi mo pa nababayaran. So, for example, item number 1, rent totaling 80,000 for the months of November and December has not been paid by the end of the year. So, kung i-analyze mo siya, yung rent mo na 80,000, hindi mo pa nababayaran, pero na-incur mo na, so accrued expense. Ang entry mo niyan, sa accrued expense, ang format is expense sa debit, since nag-list ng expense, and then payable sa credit, since madadagdagan yung liability mo, since accrued expense yan. Pag accrued expense, madadagdagan yung expenses mo, madadagdagan yung liability mo. So, rent expense, debit for 80,000. Rent payable credit for 80,000. If utilities expense, utilities payable. Pag advertising, like number 2, ito, receive a bill from the Daily Star for advertisements placed during the second week of November. The bill is for 20,000 not to be paid until January 15 of next year. So, advertising expense mo niyan, yung debit mo since advertising expense siya, and then credit mo is advertising payable. Amount niya, 20,000. And then, here, ito yung mangyayari kapag na bayaran na yung, kapag nabayaran mo na yung advertising expense mo. Advertising payable for debit, kasi para mabawasan yung payable mo since liability to, and then mag-decrease yung asset mo na cash since outflow of cash. And then next, number 3, on December 1, issued a 90-day 10% promissory note amounting to 100,000 to Samsung Equipment for the purchase of a computer. So, sa perspective ng maker, since maker yung make ng promissory note, so meron siyang i-incur na interest expense, and then interest payable yung kanyang credit. So, compute mo yan, December 1 to December 31, 30 days, and then 30 days over 360 times 10% times 100,000, yun yung makukuha yung amount. So, yung mga ganitong computations, we'll have a deeper look on that later. And then, yan, accrued income na tayo. Sa accrued income, ito yung income that has been earned, but yung payment or yung income mo mismo, di mo pa siya nare-receive. So, ito tayo sa number 2. A bill amounting to 30,000 was sent to a leasee, hindi ko lang yung pronunciation, sorry, leasee for renting one office unit belonging to the company for the month of December, in which payment will be received first week of January of next year. So, may na bigay kang bill dun sa isang nagre-renta sa office mo. Then, amount niya is 30,000. Yung rent na yun for December, and then yung payment niya sa January pa, first week of January of next year. So, makakatanggap ka ng income na rent income. So, ang debit mo niyan, rent receivable, since hindi mo pa na natatanggap yung pera. So, expect mo pa lang yun. And then, rent income yung credit mo since madagdagan yung income mo. Kasi nag-bill ka ng 30K. So, debit 30K, credit 30K. Ayan. Next, on August 1, ito, prepaid expense. On August 1, took out a fire insurance policy on the business premises. At that time, the annual insurance premium of 6,000 was recorded in an expense account titled Insurance Expense. So, kung mapapansin nyo, insurance expense siya. Pero prepaid expense yung type of account dito. Since insurance siya. Prepaid ang insurance, di ba? Hindi naman siya postpaid. So, kapag ganyan, kapag insurance expense, pag wala kayong mahanap na prepaid account, kunyari sa rent, wala kayong mahanap na prepaid rent. Sa insurance, wala kayong mahanap na prepaid insurance. Sa interest, wala kayong mahanap na prepaid interest. Advertising, wala kayong mahanap na prepaid advertising. Yun ang expense. That means you're gonna have to use the expense method, which covers the unused portion. So, ang original entry mo niyan would be insurance expense debit and then cash credit since nag-incur ka na ng expense under the expense method. Now, para mabalance siya since syempre may nagamit ka na rin naman nun, debit mo ngayon yung prepaid insurance and then credit mo yung insurance expense. Tatanggalin mo sa insurance expense yung unused portion since technically prepaid pa rin siya kasi hindi mo siya nagamit. So, ayan. On August 1 mo siya na-incur or like na yung policy nag-take place. So, from August 1 to December 31, that would be 5 months. So, 5 months. So, 1 year yon kasi annual insurance premium of 6,000 siya. So, 1 year yung 6K na yon. So, 6,000 divided by 12 is 500. 5 months pa lang yung nakalipas dun. So, meron ka pang 7 months na unused prepaid. So, yung 500 per month na yun, times mo ng 7, makukuha mo is 3,500. What if may account title na prepaid insurance, may account title na prepaid? Kapag ganun, asset method yung gagamitin mo kasi nandito yung prepaid insurance na account title. So, kapag ganyan, probably a tip would be to analyze the problem and then check mo yung unadjusted trial balance para makita mo kung anong account yung ginamit. So, pag may nakita kang prepaid, matic asset method yun. Pag wala kang nakita, expense method. Same din siya sa unearned income. Didiscuss ko yun in a while. Ayan. So, sa asset method, use portion naman siya. So, by the same problem, 500 per month pa rin. Pero, 5 months na yung nagamit mo. So, ang mangyari niyan, 500 times 5, 2,500. So, sa expense method, unused portion kasi yung nire-record natin. Sa asset method naman, used portion yung ginagamit natin. Sa expense method kasi, ang original entry mo, di ba, cash insurance expense. Tapos, pag nag-adjust ka niyan, i-adjust mo para matanggal yung mga unused kasi mapupunta ka sa prepaid. Sa asset method naman, baliktad. Yung use portion yung i-incur mo kasi pag prepaid expense, di ba, ang normal balance niya is debit. So, kapag use yan, i-credit mo siya para mabawasan yung mga prepaid kasi nagamit mo na use na. So, use portion i-record mo. Tapos, kapag naman nun, i-debit mo ngayon yung expense kasi na-incur mo na, nagamit mo na. Or like, yun, na-incur mo na nga, na-list na siya. So, ang entry niyan, debit insurance expense, credit prepaid expense for 2,500 kasi 6,000 divided by 12, 500 per month. Then 5 months na yung use portion. So 500 times 5, 2,500. And then kapag niledger mo siya niyan, even if magkaiba yung methods na ginamit, same balance. 2,500 for insurance expense, 3,500 for insurance. 2,500 yung insurance expense kasi 5 months na yung nagamit mo, yung use portion. Prepaid insurance, 7 months pa yung hindi mo pa nagagamit. Yung prepaid pa siya. So, 3,500 yun. Yun. And then sa unearned income. So, sa unearned income, di ba dalawa yan? Liability and yung income. So, kailangan mo rin i-analyze niyan kung anong method. Kung may kunyari, for example, kung ang nasa unadjusted trial balance, meron siyang account title na unearned service revenue. Ibig sabihin, liability method yung gagamitin mo niyan. And then kapag service revenue lang, walang unearned, ibig sabihin, income method yung gagamitin mo niyan. Kasi sa liability income, yung earned portion yung kinukuha. And then sa income method, yung unearned. So, eto. Valdez received in advance last November 1 from the city government of Batangas the amount of 9,000 to service police vehicles for a 9-month period commencing on November 1, wherein payment is reflected in the unearned service revenues account. So, naka-receive siya ng November 1 ng 9,000 to serve police vehicles for a 9-month period starting on November 1. So, unearned service revenue yung account, nag-reflect. So, automatically, liability method siya. Ngayon, ang original entry niyan would be debit cash since nakatanggap ka ng cash, inflow of cash. Credit mo, unearned service revenue since hindi mo pa na-earn, hindi mo pa na-reserve yung mga police vehicles for 9 months. Ayan. So, pag nag-adjust ka niyan, since unearned income siya, ang i-adjust mo, yung unearned, magiging earn na siya. So, since yung unearned service revenue is a credit account, para ma-swap siya or like mabawasan siya, i-debit mo siya. So, para ma-record mo yung earned portion. So, unearned service revenue for debit and then service revenue for credit. Kasi, kine-credit mo na ngayon yung portion na-earned. And service revenue is a credit account. Nalagdagan yan sa credit. So, ang value niya, would be 9,000 divided by 9 since 9,000 siya for 9 months. And then times 2. Times 2 kasi from November 1 to December 31, it has been 2 months. So 2 months na yung service na yun. So 9,000 divided by 9 is 1,000 times 2, 2,000. And then let's assume na instead na unearned service revenues yung nag-reflect siya sa service revenues lang. So dahil walang unearned service revenue nun, it will imply na ang gagamitin mo method is income method. So sa income method naman, parang kabaligtaran lang siya. Ang ina-adjust mo ngayon, ang nire-record mo ngayon would be the unearned portion. Since na-credit siya sa service revenues, ang original entry niyan would be debit cash, credit service revenue. Ngayon, para ma-record mo yung unearned portion, kailangan mong i-debit yung nasa service revenue. Kaya mong i-credit pala. I-credit yun nasa unearned, tas debit mo yung service revenue. Since yung revenue, credit siya, mababawasan siya through debit. So, as yung unearned service revenue, malagdagan, mare-record yung mga unearned portion dun sa revenue. Liability siya, so credit. And then yan, 9,000 divided by 9, 1,000 times 7, 7,000. And then kung mapapansin mo, same yung lalabas dyan kapag nag-T accounts ka or nag-ledger ka. Kasi ang service revenue mo, since 2 months pa lang, then 9,000 pesos for 9 months, so 1,000 per month, 2,000 kasi 2 months pa lang. And yung unearned mo, 7,000. So may 7 months ka pa para mag-serve nun. So, ayun. Yun yung examples for accrued expense, accrued income, prepaid expense, and unearned income. Ngayon, punta tayo sa worksheet. For a while. Yeah. So, ito. The unadjusted trial balance of Papasa sa midterms company, which is now in its second year of operations, is shown below. And ito yung following entries. So, for letter A, rent for the month of December was not yet paid. The depreciation of the furnitures and fixtures were not yet recorded. 50,000 equipment. Okay, let's go one by one. Ayan. So, ito yung itsura ng worksheet. Ayan. So, sa first two columns, trial balance. Ayan. Na-spoil na yung mga accounts, pero ayan. Trial balance, first columns. So, let's go ahead sa letter A, adjustment. Rent for the month of December was not yet paid. So, hindi pa nabayaran yung December na rent. Pero, na-incur mo na siya. So, automatically, accrued expense. So, rent expense, since rent siya, 7K. And then, credit mo is rent payable, which is 7K then. So, pag itinama ito sa journal entries niyan, ayan. Yeah. Rent expense, 7K. Rent payable, 7K. So, basically, kaya 7K siya kasi yung dito, 77,000 rent expense mo for 11 months from January to November. So, 11 months. And then, divide mo lang. So, 77,000 divided by, no, 70,000. Wait. Ano siya? 77,000 divided by 11 yan. I'm sorry. Ayan. 77,000 divided by 11. 7,000. Debit, 7,000. credit. Okay. Next, letter B. The depreciation for the furnitures and fixtures were not yet recorded. So, dito, depreciation expense furniture, and then accumulated depreciation furniture. Yan yung kapag depreciation, di ba? Depreciation expense yung debit mo, credit mo is accumulated depreciation. And then, furnitures and fixtures, hindi pa kasi na-record siya for the year. This will be for the whole year. Check mo dito, accumulated depreciation for furniture is 8,750. So, same lang. Since, ayan, same siya. Ayan. Letter C. 50,000 pesos of the equipment was acquired on January 1, 2022 with 10 years useful life. And then on January 1, 2023, 70,000 pesos worth of equipment was purchased with 17 and a half years useful life. Both equipments have no salvage values. So here, ayan, debit mo, depreciation expense, credit mo, accumulated depreciation for equipment. And then, since ito sa problem, 50K ng equipment was acquired with 10 years useful life on January 1, 2022. And then on January 1, 2023, 70,000 was purchased with 17 and a half years useful life. And then wala silang salvage value. So, kung mapansin mo, sa equipment, 5K na agad yung depreciation niya. Ito yung for 1 year since 2022 and then ito yung unadjusted trial balance niya by the end of 2023. So, 1 year na nakaraan. So, the equipment is in its second year. So, simple lang na 50,000 divided by 10. Yan. Plus, since bumili ka ng bagong equipment ng January 1, 2023, 70,000 worth of equipment, 17 and a half years useful life. So, 70,000 divided by 17.5. So, 4,000 yan. Pag kinalculate nyo. So, 5,000 plus 4,000 is 9,000. So, pag ganyan, may mga problems na ganyan, yung may part ng equipment na na-acquire ng isang specific date, may specific useful life, and then may accumulated depreciation na siya, and then and then the next year, or like in another day, yari, July 1, ganun, may nabili na namang equipment, tas bagong useful life na naman. So, you need to, separate them muna. Like, kukunin mo muna yung depreciation dito sa unang equipment and then sa pangalawa. Ano yung pagkasama mo na lang? Pwede mo sila ipagsama into one journal entry since same account titles naman sila. Okay. Letter D. The company accountant had estimated that 3% of the accounts receivable be the allowance balance. So, sa letter D, ayan, uncollectible accounts or doubtful accounts, expense or bad debts expense, yung ating debit and credit natin is allowance for uncollectible accounts. So, allowance method siya since it is stated in the problem. So, pag ganito, sa allowance for bad debt, since di ba allowance method and direct write-off yung method, it will be stated in the problem naman. Or pwede mo ring tignan sa unadjusted trial balance dito. Meron kang allowance for uncollectible accounts, so matik, allowance method ka. And pag sinabi rin naman sa problem na allowance balance, so allowance method ka. Pero pag sinabi sa problem na direct write-off or i-write-off niya, ibig sabihin, direct write-off method. Pag wala ring allowances for bad debts or uncollectible accounts dito, that means, ano siya, direct write-off. So, 65,000, since yun yung account receivable, times 3%, and then, makuha mo niyan, 1,950, maminus mo siya dito sa 1,500. Kasi, eto, outstanding na to eh. Kumbaga parang, ano na yan, i-accumulate mo na lang. Kasi kapag yung 1,950 yung nilagay mo, madodoble siya, hindi siya representative nung sa buong accounts receivable. So, ayan. Kasi 3% ng accounts receivable pa lang yung allowance balance. So, 3% na agad ng 65,000 yung 1,950. So, pag nilagay mo siya yan, hindi siya magiging 3% ng accounts receivable. More than 3% siya. So, adjust mo siya. 1,950 minus 1,500. Kasi 1,500 na yung accounts receivable mo last year. So, ang amount niyan would be 450. 1,950 minus 1,500. And then letter E. The building has a 10-year useful life and a salvage value of 100,000 at the end of its useful life. So yung building natin, 2.6 million. Salvage value niya is 100,000. So cost minus salvage value, 2,500,000. Then 10 years useful life, 250,000 per year. So basically, 250,000. Debit mo, debt expense. Credit mo, accumulated depreciation. Building. Then, same amounts. And next letter, F. A service contract worth 90,000 for 6 months starting October 1, 2023 was recorded using the revenue method. So, may service contract worth 90,000 for 6 months starting October 1, 2023. Then, na-record siya using the revenue method. So, pag ganito, that would mean na revenue method siya. Income method yung gagamitin natin. And pag income method, ang nade-debit is yung service revenue kasi initially, ang entry mo yan kasi is cash and then service revenue. Ngayon, dahil revenue method yung gagamitin natin, i-adjust natin, ilalagay natin yung unearned portion. So, tatanggalin mo yung unearned portion dun sa income account mo. So, tatanggalin mo siya. So, i-decrease mo yung account. So, decrease mo, debit siya. And then, credit mo yan would be the unearned service revenue since madagdagan siya. And then, for the value, it would be 45,000 since 90,000 for 6 months. So, 15,000 per month siya. October 1 siya nag-start. So, October, November, December, 3 months. So, 3 over 6. So, 90,000 times 3 over 6, 45,000. Next, supplies on hand at year-end was 3,100 pesos. Oops, sorry. Ayan. So, supplies on hand at year-end mo, 3,100. That means na mag-adjust ka ng prepaid expenses mo yan. Ang supplies mo dito, 12,500. So, ibig sabihin, hindi mo pa na-adjust yung used portion. So, asset method siya since supplies is a good example or the most common example of prepaid expense. So, pag may supplies dyan, mag-asset method ka. Paano mo malalaman to kung expense method? So, pag expense method, wala ka supplies account dito. Ang meron ka, supplies expense dito. Tapos, babalik tayo mo siya. So, yun. Letter G. So, ang account mo niyan is supplies expense, ay supplies and then ayan, supplies expense and then supplies. Ayan, sorry, nandito. Ayan. Since asset method gagamitin mo niyan, i-credit mo yung asset, supplies, kasi mabawasan mo. Tatanggalin mo yung used portion dun sa asset. Yung matitira sa supplies, yung unused portion yan. Tapos yung used portion naman, i-debit mo sa supplies expense kasi nagamit mo na, na-incur mo na yung expense for that supplies. So, for that, ang supplies mo dun sa account, sa trial balance mo is 12,500. Minus mo ngayon yung supplies on hand at year-end na 3,100. Lalabas niyan, 9,400. Next, for letter H, the interest expense is recorded using expense method on a 45-day promissory note issued to a creditor on December 16, 2023. So the interest expense recorded siya using expense method. 45 days, December 16. So bilangin mo muna yung days niyan. It has only been 15 days. So a third pa lang ng total interest sa promissory note. So ang gawin mo dyan, Flash lang natin yung titles. Since, ano siya, prepaid expense, pero expense method. So, ang i-count mo is yung unused portion. Ang interest expense mo would be 900. So, 900 din siya dito. And then, wala kang rate. Yan. Since 15 days pa lang, hindi pa siya full promissory note. So, 15 divided by 360, 15 divided by 45 pala, rather. Ayan. And then, times which is 900. Lalabas na amount niyan is 600. Kasi, 900 times 15 over 45 would be 300. Yun yung used portion ng interest. And then, may susa 900, 600. Yun yung hindi mo pa na gagamit na portion ng prepaid interest. And then letter I, on April 1, 2023, an insurance coverage with annual premium of 75,000 was purchased for the building. Another insurance coverage with the annual premium of 45,000 was purchased starting August 1, 2023. So, dalawang insurance to. Yung una, April 1, 75,000 for 1 year. So, it has been 9 months. Since April to December, if you count yung mga months, 9 months. And then, next, August 1, 2023, 5 months siya. August, September, October, November, December. 45,000 annual premium. So, ang mangyayari niyan, debit mo would be insurance expense, credit mo would be prepaid insurance since you are using the asset method. Kasi meron kang prepaid insurance dito. And ito yung computation niya. So, 75,000 from the first insurance coverage times 9 over 12 since kakount mo yung used portion. And since April 1, so 9 months. And then 45,000 yung second insurance. And then 5 over 12 since 5 months pa lang yung nakalipas. So 5 months pa lang insurance yung nagamit. So, ang result niyan would be, believe it or not, 75,000. Ang lalabas kasi dito, I'll calculate, 9 over 12 would be 56,250. And then sa kabila naman would be 18,750 if I am not mistaken. Yeah, 18,750. So, ayan, lagay lang natin siya lahat sa adjustments. Ayan. It will be the same amount. So, after mo mag-journal ng adjusting entries, lagay mo agad sila sa 10-column worksheet. And then, ito total mo siya. So, ang total niya would be 405,200 pesos. Dapat balance siya. Okay, dapat balance siya kasi nag-journalizing ka. So, pag hindi siya balance, so may mali ka dito for sure. Ayan. So, after mo mag-adjust, i-add mo siya ngayon dun sa mga accounts sa unadjusted trial balance, and then gawa ka ngayon ng unadjusted trial balance. So, cash, may na-adjust pa sa cash? Wala. And, basically, parang common sense na, since sabi na kanina rather na cash shouldn't be adjusted, so, you would commonly assume na yung cash, matitira lang yan dyan. And then, account receivable, ayan. Sige, i-flash na natin lahat. Yan. So, ayan. Sa mga adjustments, so, ayan, allowance for uncollectible accounts, 1.5 plus 450, 120 minus 75, i-cap, ano mo lang, co-combine mo lang yung amount sa trial balance and then sa adjustments. And then, syempre, pag tinotal mo silang dalawa, dapat balance sila. And the balance is 4,442,775 pesos. Syempre, dapat balance sila, trial balance. Ayan. Now, after ng adjusted trial balance, pupunta tayo ngayon sa financial statements. Sa financial statements, this time you have to do 3. Income statement, capital statement, and balance sheet. Ang nasa worksheet is income statement and balance sheet lang. Pero you also have to do the formal way sa income statement and balance sheet. So for this problem, uh, I don't think may na-prepare ako, pero I'll state the pro forma. So, ayan. For income statement, since sa income statement, ang accounts na involved dyan would be the revenue and expense account. So, basically, yung mga values ng revenue and expense accounts, ika-copy mo lang siya. And then, sa worksheet, pag-combine mo lang sila. Then sum, and then sum. So, dito, isa lang yung source of ano mo. Isa lang yung revenue. And then, ito yung sources of expense mo. And then, ayan, ito yung lahat ng expense, ito yung lahat ng income. And then combine mo sila, ito yung magiging net income or net loss. Depende siya. Yeah, depende siya. Ayan. So pag nag-proforma niyan, yung proforma niya sa formal na financial statement would be syempre yung headings muna, and then uh, yung lahat ng revenue, and then lahat ng expense. Yun. Lahat ng revenue muna, like yung revenue mismo, and then other income. Tapos after nun, total mo yun. And then next nun, expenses. Lahat ng expenses, list mo. Then add mo sila lahat. And then maminus mo lang yan. Single step siya. Lahat ng revenue mo, minus mo sa lahat ng expenses mo. Makuha mo either net income or net loss. And then, crush lang natin saglit yung balance sheet. Ayan. So, eto. Ayan. Ito kasi, in this case, mas mataas yung expenses kaysa sa revenue. So, net loss siya. And kapag ganyan, sa capital statement mo, lalabas would be syempre, una muna yung beginning capital mo. Tapos, add mo yung additional investment kung meron. Tapos, dahil net loss siya, subtract mo. Pero pag net income, i-add mo siya. And then, after nun, subtract mo yung withdrawals, makuha mo yung capital. And then, yun. After nun, pwede ka na magdiretso sa balance sheet. So, sa balance sheet, lahat ng assets, liabilities, and equity accounts, yun ang iyong i-record. So, copy mo lang yun sa adjusted trial balance. So, ayan na yan. Zoom out lang tayong konti. Ayan. So, mga asset accounts, pati kontra asset, and then, mga depreciation, then land, tas mga payables, accounts payable, notes payable, then capital and equity. And then meron pala sa baba sa mga adjustments payable and unearned revenue, which is liability, and then prepaid interest na prepaid expense, so asset siya. Then, combine mo lang din siya. Yan. Yan. Hindi pa siya balance yan. Ngayon, typically kasi, kapag kagawa mo ng capital statement, yung lalabas na ending capital mo, yun din yung mag-reflect dapat ng capital dito sa balance sheet. And then, ayan. Ito yung net loss mo. Maminus mo siya dito sa credit. Pag minus mo siya, so, type, natin? Minus. Balance siya. 3,869,550 pesos. Ayan. Ang pro forma dito sa balance sheet would be, syempre, headings muna. And then, sa income statement and capital statement for the year ended. Pero kapag balance sheet, either as of yung date or yung date lang mismo. I prefer the date lang. Parang safe ka na rin dun. And then, yun sa book din kasi. And yan, list mo yung lahat ng current assets mo, group mo sila, yung notes, yan. Same dito sa income statement. Kasi sa income statement, lahat ng other income i-notes mo. Lahat ng depreciation expense, ino-notes mo. Lahat ng other expense, ino-notes mo. And then here, sa lahat ng mga, kasi cash, tapos, i-group mo ngayon yung lahat ng receivables, i-group mo lahat ng PPE mo sa non-current assets. Group mo yung lahat ng prepaid expense mo, current assets. So, current assets muna, cash, receivables, cash, then receivables, then prepaid expense, and then sa non-current asset, yung mga PPE. And then after nun, total mo yan, total assets. And then, second part, liabilities and owner's equity. Yung liabilities mo, current liabilities, and then if non-current, kung meron ka rin, and then equity mo, then add mo siya, total liabilities and owner's equity. And in this case yan. Tapos dapat equal sila. Total assets, total liabilities, and total equity, equal din siya. So after ng 10-column worksheet, pag natapos mo na, you can proceed with closing entries. So sa closing entries, basically, apat ang kino-close nating entries. Una would be the income accounts. Second would be the expense accounts. Third would be the capital. Fourth would be the drawings. So una muna would be the income. So kapag nagko-close ka ng entries, isi-zero balance mo yung account niya sa ledger. So if yung income mo would be a credit account, i-close mo siya by debiting it. So, lahat ng income mo yan. So, kapag, kunyari, ang may interest income ka or referral income, lalagay mo yan, lahat yan, list mo siya. And then, yung sum niyan, lahat ng sources of revenue mo would be yung amount ng income summary mo. So, in this case, isa lang siya. 259,725 yung revenue mo. So, credit mo, same lang din. Step number 1 yun, sa income. Number 2, after mo mag-close ng income, i-close mo ngayon yung expenses. Ang expenses, ang normal balance niya is debit. So, kapag i-close mo siya, i-credit mo siya para ma-zero balance. So, ang debit mo niya ngayon, income summary. And then, lahat ng expenses na na-incur ng company mo, lahat ng title, ililist mo siya. Dapat walang mintis since ang sum ng lahat ng expenses mo dito would also be the amount sa income summary mo. Dapat pag inad mo to, lalabas siya dito. Pag hindi, hindi sila balance. Mamamali ka na sa next steps. So sa next step, capital naman na. So para mag-base ka rin sa income statement dito. So depende siya if net income or net loss. So in the case of a net income, since sa net income, ang magiging entry mo nun, let's cross-check sa book, ang magiging entry mo nun would be credit sa capital and then debit income summary. Kasi malabagdagan yung iyong capital since kikita ka net income. Then kapag net loss naman, ang capital mo nasa debit kasi mababawasan yung capital mo. Mababawasan yung capital mo. So, dahil dito, net loss tayo ng 313,500. So, and sell capital, 330,500. Then, income summary, ang magiging yung credit. So, kapag niledger mo kasi yan, 259 as 573, difference niya, mapupunta siya dito sa credit para mag-balance siya. And then, last, drawings. So, pag may drawings, ito-close mo siya. So, since drawings is a contra equity and ang normal balance niya is debit, i-credit mo siya. So, ang debit mo niya ngayon is capital pa rin kasi mababawasan yung capital mo. Then, personal or withdrawals or drawings, yung iyong credit account. Please close mo siya. Then, dito kasi, 5,000 yung kanyang withdraw. So, 5,000 din yung value niya. Now, after ng closing entries, tayo ay mag-post-closing trial balance na. So, sa post-closing trial balance, Ang nandito lang sa post-closing would be the real account. It has the same accounts as those found sa statement of the financial position or balance sheet. So, same sila dapat. So, uh, I don't suggest na i-copy paste siya. Pero, syempre, titignan mo pa rin na maayos yung sa post-closing trial balance kasi ang basis mo yan yung balance sheet mo din. So, lahat ng mga assets mo, liabilities, equity, ayan. Then, to-total mo sila. And hindi man necessarily na same value yan. Syempre, kasi mag-iba yung iyong value for equity. Yeah, dito nag-iba. Yun. And then, syempre, dapat balance silang dalawa. Pag hindi sila balance, may nagawa kang mali either sa closing or sa financial statements mo or worse, even sa mismong worksheet or sa adjustment mo. So, like I said nung prelims na video, you have to be very careful. You have to be very mindful, attentive, and observant sa lahat na input mong information kasi kapag may mali dyan, even if like ilang peso lang, well, best of luck kasi mahirapan ka, it will take time, hindi magiging efficient yung work mo. And then, yun. Okay, after ng post-closing trial balance, tayo ay mag-reversing entries na to mark the start of a new accounting cycle. So, sa reversing entries, typically, dalawa lang yung reversing entries natin. Dalawa lang. Prepaid expense strictly using the expense method and then unearned revenues only with the income method. So, prepaid expense na asset method, hindi mo siya nire-reverse. Yung yung unearned revenue na liability method, hindi mo siya nire-reverse. Okay? So, ayan. So, dun sa case natin, meron tayong na-adjust kanina na here, kasi 'di ba check mo yung ito, yung prepaid interest mo. Ito yung nirecord natin sa adjusting kanina. Ito yung uh, ano, oh, yung unused portion. Expense method siya. So, pag patak ng bagong accounting period, kunya January 1, i-reverse mo siya ngayon since, ayan, since expense method pa rin yung gamit mo. So, interest expense, debit for 300, since 900 minus 600, 300, then credit mo prepaid interest. And then, here, rent payable and then rent expense. Basically, yun yung sa unang item kanina. Since prepayment ka and then rent payable rent expense ka, wala kang prepaid rent na account. So, ayan. 7,000 since 7,000 per month. And then next, unearned revenue using the income method. So, sa adjusting entries, meron tayo niya. Meron ba? Ito. Letter F yung 45,000. So, 3 months kasi yon na service. So, ibabalik mo lang siya kasi hindi mo pa rin naman talaga na-earn. So, unearned service fees, 45K, service fees revenue, 45K, using the income method. Yun, tandaan nyo guys, hindi ka mag-reverse kung prepaid expense ka na asset method. Kunyari, may account ka na supplies. Hindi mo i-reverse yung entry mo for supplies kasi may supplies account ka. Prepaid yun na asset method. Pero kapag ang account mo supplies expense lang, wala kang supplies, hindi mo siya, i-reverse mo siya kasi expense method siya automatically. Then same goes with the unearned revenue. Kapag may nakita kang unearned revenue sa unadjusted trial balance mo, matic liability method ka, matic hindi ka rin mag-reversing entries. And then kapag baliktad naman, kapag walang unearned revenue or tas revenue lang yun nandun, income method ka, mag-reverse entries ka to mark yung unearned portion. And yun yung final step sa accounting cycle before you start all over again, gather documents, journalizing, hanggang and na naman ang accounting period and you'll get to do this all over again. Ayan. So, ayun lang guys. First of all, I apologize. Medyo sorry kung puro talk and napahaba and yung ibang mga information is hindi na state or na present dito sa screen. Nasabi lang siya. But yun, I hope you guys learned something and I hope may ma-remember kayo since very, very important and very essential for passing the midterm exams itong worksheet. Specifically yung dapat marunong kang mag-analyze and ano yung mga account sa adjustments and then paano yung format ng incomes ng financial statements and then paano ka mag-close entries, yung 4 steps, kaya kung ano mga i-reverse entries mo and then dapat syempre balance yan. And yun, sana may natutunan kayo guys and best of luck sa ating lahat sa midterms examination. If mayroon kayong questions, you can chat me directly to my Facebook or drop a comment down there. Ayun. Uh, I think I'll expect questions since compared sa previous one, medyo uh, unprepared and like hindi naka-present lahat ng information, like verbal ko lang siyang sinasabi. And yun. If may questions kayo guys, don't hesitate to ask me. I'll be around naman. Yun. John Sirwana. Yun. So, yun guys. Thank you so much. God bless. Good luck sa atin sa exams and maybe all deserve a great break. Siguro a lot of hours of sleep after. Yun. Review well guys. Good luck. Yun. Thank you guys so much. Bye.